Hello, everyone. I'm back. As promised, this is a marvelous Monday, and you got the opportunity for not just one, but two public speaking and business conversations. I absolutely love doing these talks because you get an opportunity to see firsthand how different businessmen and women, different entrepreneurs actually have an opportunity to share how public speaking has helped their businesses, has helped them on their journey, and that's what I want to do. I want to expose everyone to all that public speaking has to offer in the different platforms. And so, of course, the Model Speakers Academy is the bloodline behind this whole operation. We're an open enrollment for individuals who want to have more confidence in public speaking. Maybe you need help crafting your signature talk or your story, need tips on storytelling, or just need someone to help you with your structure. It doesn't matter where you are in your public speaking journey, be it a beginner or somebody who's, very comfortable, a seasoned vet. You can take this 8-week program to get more skills, more tips, and take you to your next level. So wherever you are, you can always go higher. I believe there's always room for growth. We should always be lifelong learners. Even as a speaker, myself, I watch Zooms or I attend meetings or watch YouTube videos of other speakers because I don't want to ever feel like I've arrived. I don't want to ever feel like I can't be taught or learn a new technique or learn a new skill set. That's what public speaking is. It's a skill that you can sharpen, that you can get better with. So don't ever feel like, oh, well, I'll never be a good speaker or I'll never be able to do this, never be able to do that. Well, first of all, take never out of your vocabulary. And then also just believe that everything is a mindset. It starts in our minds. So whatever we tell ourselves, then we'll have that. So I believe that life and death is in our tongue. And so we need to speak positive and we need to put faith and work to whatever we want to accomplish. So you don't have to wait to 2025 to become a better speaker. You can start today on Monday, October 14th, and make it happen. So that's what the Academy is for. So if you or someone you know who could benefit from this, then by all means, there's a QR code. Sign up. We have a webinar that I host every Wednesday during the month of October that tells you all about the Model Speakers Academy, about our model signature framework. And just to give you a quick little piece of it, the model that we use stands for motivate, organize, deliver, engage, and lead. And that's what you'll do if you become a member of the Model Speakers Academy. But enough about that. As you all know, I have another wonderful guest today, Andy Charles. And what I also love is that he's from Trinidad and Tobago. So if you all have not caught it yet, this is not just a North American platform. This is an international platform. I'm bringing you speakers and individuals, businessmen and women from across the world, okay, across the globe. I had people from Australia, people from Canada, people from Colombia, and now, first and not hopefully last, Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm so happy to have Andy here. So welcome, Andy, and tell the guests about yourself, your business.
Hey, welcome and thank you so much, Dr. Samantha, for having me on your fantastic global podcast with regards to public speaking and business. I have been speaking for about 25 years now, and I'm an entrepreneur, a certified life and development coach, and a certified inspirational slash transformational speaker. But much more than that, I have come to the conclusion that what I've been blessed with by the Creator is the opportunity to make a positive and endearing and fulfilling impact on the lives of millions around the world. And the time is going to come when I'm supposed to tell Him what I have done with that talent, with that gift. So, more than anything else, despite the qualifications and the certificates and the accreditations, for me, it's about reaching about 3 million persons at least, affecting their lives in a positive manner, helping them to achieve health, happiness, and prosperity. Helping them to get the answers to some of the questions that they have been asking for a long time and can't find the solution or the answer to. And I must be able to give the Creator a great ROI on the investment He made by placing me here. And this is another step in that journey, sir. Thank you so much.
Wow, 3 million. I love that because most people, I think they cap it at 1 million, but you're already showing that you're not playing around. You want to impact 3 million lives, and I think that's very honorable. And I love that people can see that people who really speak from the heart, it's not about themselves, but it's about how they can help others. It's about that you have a clearly defined why, and you know how you want to help individuals, and you know that you have a gift and you want to share it. And so I think that's amazing. So thank you for that.
Thank you, and I appreciate you as well.
Wow. So let's go ahead and get started in it. Why do
Okay.
you believe public speaking is a crucial skill for business professionals today?
Okay. So, first of all, public speaking is a skill, or some people describe it as an art, but it is
Mhm.
definitely something that can be used as a tool for communication. The scientific aspect of communication is that it's a two-way street. It's the giving and the receiving of information. As a business owner, as a professional, someone who's offering a product or a service, your focus should be on the giving or the sharing or the dissemination of the information. But your major focus must be on those who are actually in the process of receiving the information. The key way to do this as a business owner is to always think about what is the value that my audience or my target audience needs. What it is that I have that I'm offering that I can give to them, that they will find a solution in that, that they would find the answers to some questions that they have in life, that they would find 5 or 6 ways to be empowered, to do away with limiting beliefs, to find the opportunity in which they can actually carve out a niche for themselves in terms of the business and the services that they offer as well. And so, in order for you to do that, to disseminate that information properly, effectively, and efficiently, you need to understand the power that the audience has. So, in relevance, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about us as speakers or business owners, but it's about how we deliver what we deliver and what we say when we deliver what we deliver. Now, that might sound like a conundrum, but really, you might have heard this saying, it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes.
That's not true. It's as much as important what you say as much as is important how you say it. So,
Mhm.
for a business owner, when you put those ingredients together and you speak as a public speaker, engage on that basis. The value that the people you're reaching out to, whether it's a product or service, is it relevant to them?
Mhm.
Secondly, am I offering this value from a place of reality? What do I mean by that? It's better to have an embodiment of that experience or product before you put that product out there, meaning it must not be just the sharing of knowledge, but it must be the sharing of an embodiment, an experience that you would have had that would have made an impactful difference on your life. And the reason why that is important is because now you're looking to develop trust and validity as a business owner through the process of public speaking. Therefore, they must feel that it's coming from your heart and not your head. You don't want to connect with their head, you want to connect with their very soul.
Mhm.
So, take those into consideration, and then the final part is make them feel that they are so important that it's necessary to continue to connect with you so that you can continue to provide them with that product or service that they now see as valuable. And you have helped them to believe it is something that they need because they have a problem to solve, a need to get met, or something they need to clear up about their lives.
Wow. Well, that was an excellent breakdown of pretty much finding the true value. I like that you said that because, like you said, there's something that that person needs from that product or service, and you have to show them how you're going to help them. At the end of the
Yep.
day, that's what they need, and you have to be able to show the value. And then I like how you said it has to. at least impact you first for it to be authentic. So we're not getting into business based off of somebody else doing it or because it's popular right now. But I want to have an impact. I want to change lives. And
Yeah,
so my life has been changed by dot, dot, dot. So let me share this with you so that it can change your life. And like you
that's
said, you want to put it in a way where they want to continue to work with you. Like they'd be crazy not to. That's how you want to leave them. Like,
yeah,
that all you said, and if I still don't want to work with you, then something's wrong with me because it's so obvious from your exhibiting and sharing that they need to work with you and they need to figure out a way to work with you. Like,
yeah,
if it's money, let me figure out, let me pay a payment plan, whatever the case is. I want what you have because I know to make my life better. And so
yes.
we have to make that connection so that our audience can see the value and the power of not staying where they are. Because many people know they need to change, but the desire to change is not strong enough yet. So they just
Mm,
stuck. They just, okay, yeah, I'm suffering, or yeah, I'm not as happy as I should be. Things could be better, but they're in a comfortable box. And so we need to, with our message, with our passion, with our desire for them to change, make it uncomfortable in that box. Like now you have some information that you shouldn't want to stay the same, you know?
yeah,
So thank you.
that's
That
what
was,
it's all about. That's what it's all about. You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
if I might add, when you begin as a business individual to connect with people from a public speaking perspective, you must have in the back of your mind that when you began speaking and sharing and giving the information, the mindset that the people had at the end of that 20-minute, 35-minute, whatever time that you have allotted to you, they must not be the same individual.
Right.
So you have to strive to make a shift, a paradigm shift in how they think, how they feel, and then how they're going to act. In other words, give them the feeling, the opportunity to say, you know what? He's talking to me.
Yes.
She is speaking to me. They
Hmm.
are speaking my language. I need to do something more than just listen. I need to act. I must take action.
Yes. And any skilled speaker wants to leave a call to action. You want your guests or people listening to either feel something, um, have some type of course of action that they should take, or they should be thinking something differently. So we need to go in knowing what it is we want to accomplish. Do I want to think differently, feel differently, or act differently? And
Hmm.
so, or all three. But
Yep.
it has to be a clearly defined message that we know that, what, I'm going to take you on a journey. And I want you to be different. I want you to have a different point of view. And like you said, a shift, a mindset shift.
Yep.
It definitely has to happen. So I love that. So my second question is, can you share a personal experience where effective public speaking significantly impacted your career or business?
Yeah. For me, I want to use the same term again, paradigm shift. A paradigm shift took place for me when I had the opportunity to speak at Lions Club's international convention. And then I followed up that on a Thanksgiving platform where they were celebrating the coming into office of a new district governor. And what I discovered is that, and I'm saying this openly because this, from my perspective, this is my reality. I've seen it.
Mhm.
I recognize that the power of people to come together under one banner and do something that everybody is in alignment with is an extremely wonderful place to be because when you become part of that, it's like a community.
Mhm.
And I was blessed to be part of that community. And the impact that that made on me and my business, my career, was helped me to believe that despite the differences that people have all across the world, whether it's color, creed, race, religion,
Yes.
education, social status, the zeros you have in the bank account or don't have in the bank account,
Mhm.
we are just people.
Yeah.
everywhere we go. And that's very small, simple things that brings us on an equal stage, an equal level. And when I learned that, I recognized how powerful it was to always bring that kind of atmosphere into my public speaking skill and then take it into the realm of my life coaching. Where when I meet someone on a one on one basis, it's always a matter of transactional conversations. What do I mean by transactional conversations? I give something to them and I learn something from them in return. And that has created the opportunity for me to feel so much more confident about myself, empower the things that I use, the tools that I use to deal with the people that I deal with. And it has just taken me to another level. And that level has helped me to share and help and coach and teach the people I deal with to another level as well. And guess what? It hasn't stopped there. There is so much more room for growth and development. And my intent is to do it one day at a time, one step at a time, incrementally, 1% at a time.
Hmm.
And I'm never going to reach. But the journey is always going to get better because the end goal is going to become so much more clearer every step that I climb. And I'm grateful to that organization for that and to God for giving me the opportunity to be part of them and for that positive impact to now be engaged in my career and the people that I serve.
Wow, that's amazing. And I love that you said at the heart of it, at the core of it, we all are the same. You
Yeah.
know, it doesn't matter how we look, what we have, what we don't have, where we were born. We are human beings. And so we
Mm-hmm.
have to find what we have in common and then not
Yeah.
what we have different. Because we can always look for differences, but let's try to find the commonalities and come together. And I'll take a step further. We all have a story to share. We all have unique voices, unique point of views. We have unique experiences that we had growing up and just things in life that I believe that we can share with others. You
Mm-hmm.
know, a lot of times people feel like, well, nobody doesn't care about that, or nobody probably couldn't relate, but you'd be surprised. We share a lot of the common experiences or similar experiences, regardless of where we live. You know, sometimes some things repeat themselves. And so I love that you said that it's transactional. And that's
Yeah.
how we should be when we talk. It should be an exchange. It should
That's
always
right.
be a dialogue, or we're communicating. You know, we even sharing energies, but there has to be an exchange. You know, it shouldn't just be one sided. It shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be I'm just talking, talking, talking. I need to make sure you're receiving it, that you're
Yes.
hearing me, and I need to be able to hear or get an understanding from you as well. And so if we can do that, not only if we're talking to 1,000 people, but even if we're talking to just one person, 5 people, it doesn't matter the number. Are we talking, or are we listening to understand, or are we listening to respond?
Mm.
There's a difference, because
Yes.
many times people are just like, I'm waiting on my turn so I can tell you you're wrong. But
Yeah.
I don't have to agree with you, but I can respect you. I can hear you out and listen to what you have to say. And I think that's even bigger part of communication is listening
That's
and
right.
being an active listener and having empathy for that person. Try to understand their point of view. Try to understand their situation. And that's what we need to go into it, regardless of the platform or the situation. Let me make a transaction. I want to make a positive deposit, and I hopefully would get a positive return.
Yeah. I love that.
Well, thank you. Yes. So my third question is, what are some common public speaking challenges that many business professionals face, and how can they overcome them?
That's a huge cycle with regards to the different aspects of public speaking because it is one part that I think many people have differential opinions about, but not necessarily factual.
Right.
So, as I said in the beginning, public speaking is an art, it's a skill. For some people, it's just raw talent.
Mm.
But I want to draw an example from an individual who many people would probably know by the name of Lionel Messi. He's one of the greatest footballers, or I should say soccer players, for the differentiation of culture, the term soccer football. And one of the things that I admire about Lionel Messi is that Lionel Messi speaks in volumes without words. Ah, what do I mean by that? When he goes on the football field and he plays soccer, the manner in which he communicates his soccer skills on the football field, he doesn't need to say anything after the game is over. He leaves it all on the field. Now, that
Mm-hmm.
is not an easy thing to do. So, what is the main key and the main challenge of a public speaking skill with regards to disseminating information effectively and efficiently? It's about being able to empty yourself in the moment you are supposed to communicate. What do I mean by that? First of all, be honest. Secondly, be in the moment. And third, whatever you have to say, let it all hang out at the time that you are speaking, at the time that you are delivering. Do not hold back anything. Why? Because you need to show up every moment at your best. Is it challenging? Yes. Why? Because the minute you hit that stage and you look at the faces and you recognize that nobody recognizes you, they don't know who you are, they just know your name or maybe something about you based on the introduction, but they do not know you. They are not from your social cycle or circle. So you're entering into a realm where there are strangers there. And
Mm-hmm.
normally, when we do that as human beings, we tend to put up our guard. Should I
Mm-hmm.
give you a piece of advice? You need to let your guard down. Take a few deep breaths and relax. And remember, they are the people that they are depending on you to deliver something of value, and they are investing their time, and they deserve something for their time in return because their time is their most priceless possession. That is the
Yeah.
mindset that you must have because you need to overcome the initial worry of, oh my gosh, I don't see a familiar face. They don't know me. I wonder how they react. Those are the kind of thoughts that you need to get away from. So, here what? Take a few minutes before they actually call you on the stage or the platform or the podium and think about how you can experience a beautiful place where there's nobody around, there's just serenity, your favorite place that you go to in your mind. Everybody has that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe from your childhood days or coming up through your teens or when you become an adult. Maybe it's a place out in the forest. Maybe it's in the park nearby. Maybe it's a hill where you can see the whole city and all the lights. I don't know. Maybe it's in church where you can sit in a pew and just be by yourself and just talk with your father. Wherever it is, think about that place for a few moments. You don't need much, just about 3 or 4 minutes. And just breathe and become easy and become calm.
Mm-hmm.
And remind yourself that when you go on that stage, it's not about you, it's about the people that are depending on you to deliver. So the initial feeling that you get when you walk on that stage must not be a negative energy because it's the energy that you put out that you're going to get back in
Right.
return. So if you charge up your batteries and charge up yourself and begin to believe that I am given an opportunity to show up at my best today and I'm going to deliver what I've been called to deliver based on the audience and what they need, that's where your focus needs to lie. That will help you dissipate the fear, the intimidation, the questions that may come about whether they're going to accept what you're saying or receive you or not. All of
Mm-hmm.
those things don't matter. What matters is how can I connect with these people? Here's another clue. Have you ever walked into a room and there may be 10 or 15 persons in the room, and you just hit it off with two persons. You feel something, it's symbiotic, there's a resonance, and you can relate to them and they can relate to you. As a professional speaker, experience teaches you look for anyone and everyone in the audience that you can connect with. How do you know it? By the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in their eyes. Something lights up in their pupils when they see you come on stage. Sometimes it could happen first time, maybe in the first 20 or 30 seconds, where your basic foundation is where you're going to entrap the audience.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose them in the first 20 or 30 minutes, it's going to be harder to bring them back to the place that you need them to receive what you are sharing. So that is why
Absolutely.
it's important for that initial time that you're going to get on the stage to public speak. You must be in control of all of your emotions as much
Yes.
as you possibly can. Will you always be that way? No. Will you be nervous sometimes? Yes. Is that good? Yes. Some nervous energy is good. It helps you keep your feet on the ground
Yes.
and focus on the fact that now you have to deliver. There's no time to practice. You're on
Mm-hmm.
center stage. It's time to deliver. Yeah? Finally, at the end of the day, what you want is to build relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And you may be thinking, boy, that is going to be kind of difficult because, again, the thought might come up, I'm dealing with strangers. But there must be something about your story that's going to resonate with somebody.
Right.
So, besides looking for the pupils lighten up in the eyes, look for body movement in the audience. If people are looking down, fidgeting with their phones or their notebooks, they're not paying attention to you.
Right.
If suddenly they jerk up, look for it. You have to have your eyes across the audience, looking for people that
Yeah.
you know you can directly communicate with. That's the beginning of relationship right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need. Focus on that. Put your energy into that direction. And eventually what's going to happen is that that is going to spread.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are going to recognize it. And they're going to see other people paying attention. They'll realize, wait a minute, I wonder what this guy is saying is relevant to me. And that's
Right.
important. So here's a bonus. Use stories and anecdotes to help overcome some of the challenges.
Yes.
Try to learn things about other people through the course of history who would have experienced something similar to what you are delivering to your audience and bring it into your presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Even a personal story about yourself. Again, I say be vulnerable. They must see the human part of you. That's the part that they connect with the most
Mm-hmm.
because they must see themselves in your story. You
Yes.
want recognition, you want that balance in the connection. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you share the story, begin with you.
Mm-hmm.
I have experienced on many occasions feeling the hurt of losing a loved one. Relationships haven't been such a wonderful and endearing thing for me. And I know sometimes you then bring them in. Say you, use that second person. I know you have had similar situations in your life. And I know how you would have felt at such a stage when you're thinking, maybe I'm not good enough for anybody else. But that's not the way that I've learned to become after I engage in X, Y, and Z. And then you say, we. So use that. I, you, and we. Finally, we are people that need to understand that our story is important, our story matters, and there's not another story like us on this planet, and we should hold up that as something of virtue, as something of value, and be always proud of it. You need to draw them always into that picture. Whew, enough said.
Yeah, I mean, you really broke that down, and I love that you used the word vulnerable because I was waiting on it. I was like, he's describing vulnerability, and that's what the audience wants. That's what the audience needs to see a vulnerable human being before them. I don't want to see somebody talking like they're perfect, like
Yeah.
their life is all together, and
Mhm.
they're talking down to me. I need us to be on the same level. I don't need you talking above my head. I don't need you talking below me or down on me either. So we have to find that delicate balance where we can connect, like you said, and engage. And yes, we will be nervous, but like you said, that nervous energy is a good thing. We just got to shift it from
Mm.
nervousness to excitement. Like,
Yeah,
you know what? I get the opportunity to share with these people today. And if you're nervous, that means you care.
that's
Because if
right.
you don't care about something, then you don't share any kind of intense emotion. It's like
Yeah,
if it goes good, it goes good. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you care. So that's why you have that nervous energy. But just transfer it into excitement, and acknowledge it and say, you know what? I'm a little nervous, but it's going to be all right. And imagine yourself doing well. Like you said, look for those faces, look for those eyes, look for that connection. And like you said, share a story. I love that process of I, you, and we.
yeah,
Like taking them on a journey. Like
yes.
I can talk about myself because I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna be transparent. Or for better words, I'm gonna get naked first so that you can feel okay getting naked, and
That's
then we
right.
can walk out together, or we can help clothe each other together. But you have to be vulnerable, and you have to pull back the layers. And like you said, when we don't know people, it is that instinctual reaction to put up guards or put up walls or to kind of back up or fold our arms or
Yeah,
use body language and words that close off instead of inviting in. And we want to invite the audience in, and we want to, make them feel comfortable because, like you said, they're going to vibe off of what we give. So if I come
hmm,
onto the stage closed off or kind of, you know, stand backing and, just kind of distancing myself, then they're going to pick that up. So you want to
that's
come
right.
across and be genuine. And you don't even have to share that I feel nervous or anything. No, you take control.
Yeah.
And the best way to do it is, like you said, sharing a story.
Hmm.
Everybody, like, we've been programmed to listen to stories, and
Yes.
if individuals listen to my earlier talk, the gentleman mentioned about, we're used to once upon a time. So of course we wouldn't necessarily use that type of dialogue with the audience, but
Yeah.
I want to take you on a journey, or remember this, or imagine this. Those are just different words we can say that can still set up that same type of feeling,
Hmm.
but do a story. Right? There's different techniques. Start out asking a question. It can be rhetorical, or it could be where you get an answer back. But
Yeah.
you want to invite the audience in to say, hey, we're doing this together. And if you can create that type of environment and do it, like you said, within that first 5 minutes or so,
Hmm.
then you'll have them along for the journey.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
that was excellent. I loved everything that you shared.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. My last question is, what is one essential tip that you would give to someone looking to improve their public speaking skills?
I think one of the greatest tip that I could share is do not fear the process.
Mm,
Embrace it.
yes.
Always look forward to it. Always enjoy it. And do not think about public speaking as something that pulls something out of you, but think of public speaking as an opportunity to share something out of you.
Mm,
So, in other words, be in a voluntary mindset.
mhm,
And there are two things that's really important in the process of dealing with any audience, despite the level of their education or they may be differently abled. There are two things that works with every single audience. One, always ask questions
mhm.
and give them the opportunity to give you feedback. And
Yes.
you can only do this by showing deep interest in the way you ask the questions. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Can you describe that feeling that you're feeling right now? Can I see a raise of hands? I know you're feeling. I could feel that you're feeling. Always impact, and don't make it sound as though you know for sure, but just make it sound as though you're trying to get them to come to a place to confess. Yes, give it up. And the
Yeah.
second thing is, can I have your permission to share a story with you? Always make them feel that they are the ones that are in control, and you
Mm,
need their permission. Why? It's about them. The
yes.
more you make it about them, is the more important they're gonna feel, and the more value they're going to place on you being there, appreciating them so much that now they're going to give you at least some attention and some time.
Wow. I love it. So were you all listening? He said there was two things that works with any audience. Ask questions and then ask permission,
Yeah.
to share a story or to share experience, a
Yes.
situation. So you
Yes.
want to keep the audience involved, engaged. So that's basically what he's talking about, engagement. You want to
Hmm.
have engagement the entire time. You don't want people to start looking distracted, like you said, fidgeting, looking at their phones or not paying attention. You want to make sure that you have them engaged. You're inviting them on a journey and you want them to enjoy that journey, because at the end you have a thing you want to have them do, a call to action. You want to give them some type of feeling, some type of emotion, some type of new thought process, because we want there to be paradigm shifts, mind shifts. We have to be willing to do that. So thank you so much, Andy. You really, really gave such a beautiful explanation on all of the questions. I
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed it. So how can we stay in contact with you? How can we follow you? Do you have any programs or anything coming up? Tell us what's going on in the
Uh,
breakout room.
okay, the Breakout Room is just one of my podcasts. I have three podcasts.
Okay.
Breakout Room deals with people who are focusing on health, happiness, and prosperity.
Okay.
And that is basically homeowners, people who are into business, career oriented people, single moms, and entrepreneurs. Those are the demographics of my audience for that particular podcast. Then I have Let's Just Read, and that focuses on authors, writers, and artists. They come and they tell the stories about their books, their publications, the arts that they're doing, the impact they want to make in people's lives or on people's lives through those different products, books, publications, etc., and their story, especially if it's an autobiography that they have written or memoir. It's important that they share the depths and the experience and the embodiment of those stories with the people. And then there's a faith based podcast that I have that is called Breaking Out of Depression, and that's on LBW Radio Network on podcast, not on podcast, on Facebook and YouTube, LBW Radio Network every Tuesday. So tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. we begin and it finishes at 8 p.m. If you want to get me on Instagram, it's Andy Charles 8417. So you put in your information and then you add at the end Andy Charles 8417. LinkedIn is Andy A. Charles. Facebook is Andy.Charles.393 and my YouTube channel is at Andy Charles Dreamer, and Twitter is Keymena, KEYMENA. Thank you so much.
Wow. Well, I'm going to get those links from you because I want to attach them to this actual recording so that
Yeah,
you can follow him, that you can check out his websites, check out his podcast. He doesn't have just one, but he has three, and they all have great information. So thank you so much, Andy, for coming on to just share with us. And I really love your perspective, and I really can appreciate it. So thank you so much for sharing that. I hope everyone got some tidbits. Like I said, this was our second talk for today. So you got a double dose of two great male professionals who share their point of view as speakers, as entrepreneurs. And tomorrow we'll have another great talk as well. So stay tuned to Public Speaking in Business. And if you miss any episode, then I would suggest going back on my page and just starting from the bottom and work your way back up, because I've had some great talks over the past few months. And if you're watching this as a replay, put hashtag replay. But again, thank you again for coming on, Andy. And I wish everyone a good evening. And make sure to tune in to Public Speaking in Business tomorrow. And on Wednesday, come join the Model Speakers webinar to find out about the good things about the Model Speakers Academy.